EWE, and this is the original dynamic when Dustin J. Mark was coming to you, well, taped from beautiful Laughlin, Nevada, for a special edition of Behind Enemy Lines, where we actually are going to interview several of the handlers in EWE, let you know a little bit more about who we are and what we are bringing to the world of e-fetting and fantasy wrestling. Today I have a very special guest. She right now handles Mallory, Costas, Shaul, Guerrero, and of course the new addition to EWE, the Night Twins. She's the one, the only, the lovely Ailly. I'm very proud that I was able to pronounce that correctly too, just to let you know.
So am I. You've done well.
So Ailly, let me ask you this. First off, how did you get your start in e-fetting?
Basically, I had started in the email places and the dice rolling and all of that, and I kind of just found boards by accident, and I guess the rest is history. I wish it could be more entertaining with, like, unicorns and rainbows and all that leading me there, but it's not.
Nice. What year did you get started?
About 9 years ago, so.
Okay, so you pretty much came in, so let's see, 9 years ago, that's what, 2003, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Were you a wrestling fan before that?
I was. I wasn't really an educated one. I didn't really look at the spoilers and, go into, all the storylines about why they're doing what they're doing. I was just kind of one of those people who actually watched and waited to be surprised. I guess it's fair to say that's changed lately, but yeah.
You still follow it today?
Not really. Not since April 2011. So.
Well, now this is a little off topic, but it's kind of interesting. Why don't you follow it anymore?
Because I was always an Edge fan, and when he had to retire, I really saw no point in watching anymore. I'd actually given up hope after the whole PG turn and his last year of his career. The storyline was just terrible, but I watched because I was that big of a fan of his, and then he announced his retirement, and that was pretty much it. That was the nail in the coffin.
Well, you found yourself here in EWE, of course. Tell me, how did you end up coming to EWE?
I was actually there before, but it was only for a matter of weeks. I had joined as Layla Milani, and yeah, not many people remember that run because it was very unimpressive. And so I managed to leave for a couple months, and I came back, and I kind of stuck around because I had some stories going on.
Now, I'll be first say, when you first, well, let me put it this way, when you came back to EWE, I, for one, was very impressed with the way that you wrote. You have a way with your words, and you obviously were not afraid to express your characters in a variety of ways. From personal experience there, yeah. Tell me, I mean, who were your influences to become a better RPer? Did you have someone that actually helped teach you, or did you just kind of develop it yourself, or how did that work?
It was kind of learn as you go. I saw people around me who were a lot better. I think I kind of flourished in my second year, and I had people feeding into my ego, but I didn't think I was as good as I could be. Back at that point, I was pretty much just impressed when I could figure out how to put pictures and music in there. So when I actually learned how to make my writing better, I wanted to get even better. So it was kind of figure it out and then start with a foundation and build your way up higher. Well,
I can definitely say you have turned a lot of heads, especially in EWE, and you've had success. How does it feel to be, EWE in a lot of people's opinions is a premier e-fed. How does it feel to be doing as well as you are with some of these people that are out there performing?
I'm really surprised because Mallory is actually a character I came up with specifically to join the Fedway. I had no experience with her before, and I really always considered myself better with faces. And as you said in the podcast, she's kind of my top character. And, I didn't really expect her to go as far as she has. So it's kind of a fun little twist to see where she's going every week.
where do you see her going in EWE? I mean, are you looking women's championship, or are you looking to go over to the men's brand at some point? I mean, where do you see yourself?
I don't know. I kind of just take it week by week, and I guess wherever there's a good feud, that's where you're going to find her.
So, I mean, now, just another interesting question. Titles aren't important to you? I mean, not something you're really looking for?
If the story's good enough, I can put title aspirations to the side. That's kind of what I'm doing with Shaul right now, because she lost her title, and the Televixen title is one of the hardest titles to keep because it's every week, no matter what. So, yeah, she's kind of a more story-oriented one where it fits Mallory's character better to just chase down gold from every angle that she can.
Well, that's really interesting. I mean, there's a lot of people that, I'll speak from experience. I know a lot of people will say you need to be going towards your ultimate goal, but, at the same time, you have to be having a good time as well.
Exactly. If there's no story, you get bored, and if you get bored, that's when you leave.
Yeah. Let me ask you this now. Right now in EWE, there are a lot of really good RPers, some very good writers. I mean, who impresses you right now in the Federation?
I'm not trying to, make your bubble swell or anything like that, but Dutch is one of my favorites to read. And then, there's all of Scar's work. And then Shad, he's improving every week. His Mickey role-play for this Ladies' Choice briefcase, it really impressed me. So, it's kind of fun to see how much improvement you get when you really crank the pressure up.
I couldn't agree more with you. I think those are some of the very best that you have. The talent, which is interesting, and again, speaking from, I hate to admit it sometimes, my 15 years of e-setting, you get a pretty good collection of writers in the Federation. Now, recently, and we have Girls' Night Out is coming up. Obviously, you were a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Some very good role plays on that. I mean, did anything in particular strike you out of that pay-per-view?
Natalia. I'm not sure who her handler is. I think his name is D. I don't know.
Darius.
I'm sorry.
Darius. Yeah,
okay.
That's Darius.
Yeah. He really went out there. I thought his work was amazing. He's good usually, but yeah, he really cranked it up, and he impressed me a lot this week.
Are you looking to, now is that someone you see yourself feuding with at some point? Would you like to be involved in a program with a writer like Darius?
I would like to see Shaul and Natalia have a feud because their backgrounds are so similar because they're both third generation. So I think that could make a good feud on its own, and then you add potential title inspirations to it, or aspirations, whatever. You add that to it, and you put a really good story behind it, and I think we could really have some magic going.
That sounds interesting to me, at least. I know there's probably a lot of people, or whoever decides to listen to this, that would probably be just as interested to read something like that, or watch it unfold. Let's kind of reverse the roles here a little bit, and put you, instead of just being a superstar, let's put you as let's say you run EWE right now. What would you like to see happen in EWE, whether it be improving the site, storyline, title, something along those lines? What would you like to see happen?
Oh, geez, Jay is going to kill me, but I would really like to see the results actually be on time. He's going to kill me for that. Oh, my God, he's going to cut my head off, but that's okay. I think that's really, it's really good right now. I love the stories and how each character has their own personality and their own set trait and their own way of going. But, it's really that's the only thing that's bothering me right now is the fact that they're always a little bit late. So
I'm sure as a member of the staff, I can understand your concern there. Obviously, that's one thing we try to be as efficient as possible. Now, to take that a little off topic here, everyone.
Honestly, they're not worth the wait. They're always worth the wait, but it would be nice if they were on time every now and again.
Yeah, I mean, we do try to do a quality show, and, you know, as much as everyone hates to admit it, I think we all have lives at some point, so it's kind of like...
That's true. That's true.
But no, I do understand. Let me ask you this. Now, as far as, say, Ladies' Night in comparison to Chaos, do you feel Ladies' Night has a stronger show? Do you feel Chaos has a stronger show?
I think the ladies really do bring it because, you know, just judging by your podcast, you guys kind of found us pretty boring. So if anything, we're going to use that to kind of crank our work up and prove you wrong.
Well, that's what you're here on the show today for. You're here to boost the ladies, too.
Yes, love you girls. You're so great. And guys playing girls.
I was going to say the irony of that statement is probably about 75% of them are
that sounds so creepy.
So,
I love everybody.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's pretty much what we were looking for. Do you have anything else you'd like to tell everyone else in the Fed? Any words of advice you'd have to someone joining EWE today?
I would say that you're probably going to want to do some research on the people that you're booked against because a lot of them have some crazy-ass stories. Like, I kind of found myself entangled with the Johnny Chaos storyline without really knowing that much about him. Like I said, I kind of gravitate towards anything that's edge-related, so that's really where the inspiration for that came from. So, yeah, you might want to do some research because you never know what these characters have been through. You're not going to know their past just from, what they've done on TV or just the biographies you've read, so do your research.
That's actually a great piece of advice. I would definitely elaborate and remind our listeners and people that are new to EWE. EWE's been around since 2004 in one form or another. That means it's almost a decade of information. Johnny Chaos is one of those that's obviously been around since the inception, more or less.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, heck, even my character has had a few run-ins with Mr. Chaos, hence the birthmark that he now has on his chest, thanks to Dutch going back a couple of years here.
I just learned of that from you telling me. Like, if you didn't tell me that a couple of days ago, I would be like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, for those who don't know, Johnny, in fact, I'm kind of going off topic here again, but something we talked about was there was a couple of years back, Dutch, or I guess I should say a year and a half back now, Dutch burned the faceplate of the EWE Undisputed title in the Johnny Chaos's chest in retaliation for him burning down the Mean Machine School of Wrestling, which, kudos to Jay, the most shocking moment of 2011, I believe. Yeah, it's always interesting what you find out about certain people.
I actually found that out from having read a Dutch role play, and then I asked you about it because I was like, when did this occur? Did I miss something? I didn't know it was last year, so it kind of makes me wish I would have stuck around my first run.
Well, like I said, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think research is a big key. Ailly, I want to say thank you very much for being on the show today, and to all of our listeners at home, please make sure you continue to check out EWE and all the characters, everyone that's on staff. We're here to help you. The wrestlers, for the most part, even Mark, likes to help people get going here.
Mr. Viviano.
Mr. Viviano. Well, for Ailly, I'm Dustin J. Markowitz. Once again, if you are not part of EWE, make sure you find the website. Go to Google, type in Envision EWE, INVISION EWE. We are on the Chris Hart Top E-Fed list, and of course, anytime you run into someone that you know within the Fed, just ask them. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to link you to the site. Ailly, thank you very much for being on the show today.
No problem. It was fun.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good fight, good night. Stick around. We will have another podcast dealing with the recaps of the shows with John North and myself, as well as more interviews, more highlights, and more talk revolving around EWE. Good night.